Hi everyone. So my name is Tolulope Biro and I made it to the final stage of the Sahara Graduate Management Training Program in 2023 and I would be sharing my experience with you. So the application process ended on the 17th of February 2023. However, I submitted my application before then based on the information given. I know I was told to upload three documents. I was told to upload my NYSC certificate. I was told to upload my transcripts, a transcript from my school, and I believe certificate of graduation for my first degree. The application was open to both graduate with a first degree or a master's degree. So I did that and I got an email to confirm my submission. First, I got an email. The first one was telling me to go to the application portal, and then after I did that, I got an email confirming my submission. And there was a second instruction to take a screenshot and take a screenshot of the confirmation email and send it to their Instagram page, which I did. I was not necessarily supposed to get a feedback for that, so we didn't get a feedback from the Instagram page saying that they received um the screenshots. So the application ended on the 17th of February. On the 20th of February, I got an email and I'm going to read the email. The email says, Dear, my name basically, please read the following email very carefully. Please do not reply this email as the sending address cannot accept responses. Further to your application for the Sahara Graduate Management Training Program, you have been invited for an online computer-based aptitude test. The test has three sections: verbal reasoning, numerical reasoning, and abstract reasoning. Then they have the pre-test details. So they basically told us what kind of device we could use and they gave us a screening link. So you could do a pre-test. The pre-test was basically related to computer and IT questions, about 60 questions. You would have to use your laptop. You could not use a phone. Basically, you had to use a laptop, and then you would do like a 360 video to show the environment that there was no malpractice material, no calculator inside. Then you would have a passport close by, so you could have a digital passport on your system. At a particular point, they would ask you to upload the passport, or you would have a hard copy passport. By passport, I mean identification documents, not a picture. And it's good you have both because there was a time I tried to use the digital copy on my system and it didn't work, and I had to just hold the hard copy close to my face, basically, and upload that. So when I did the practice test, I was I think a little bit surprised because it wasn't necessarily what I was expecting because it was IT related. However, I still went back to read the email again and then I saw what I was supposed to do was verbal reasoning, numerical reasoning, and abstract reasoning. So I did um little practice ahead of my practice test. On the 21st of April, I got another email which was basically reminding me for the practice for the main test, send the practice test link and then sent my login details for the main test. It told me to download the software which I downloaded before the date. I got another email on the 24th of February just to confirm that I had received the previous emails that were sent. So I got an email on the 20th, the first email I got for the practice test. I got another email on the 21st of February. I got another email on the 23rd of February. I got another email on the 24th of February, just basically reminding me that I should try to take the practice test. Then I got a text message from someone at Sahara telling me that I should confirm my availability. So if I was going to be available to take the test, I should confirm by replying the text message. Then on the 24th of February, I got another email, which was basically an availability email. So I had to reply back and tell them, yes, I have taken the dummy test and I will be available on the day of the test. So my test day was slated for Friday, 24th of February 2023. Then I did that. So after I took the test, I didn't hear anything from them again until the 7th of March. So on the 7th of March, I got another email telling me that I made it to the next stage. So I'll just read the second email. The subject says Sahara Group Graduate Management Trainee Behavioral Assessment Invitation. Dear, my name, please read the following email very carefully. Do not reply to this email as the sending address cannot accept responses. Further to your application for the Sahara Group Graduate Management Trainee Program, you have been shortlisted for a behavioral assessment. Please note that you are required to have completed your test by the test end date slated below. So they sent me the details, the start date and the end date. This one was not like the first one. So the first one, it was just like about 2 hour window. So you either take your test bit, you should log in at either about 10 or 11, and if you can't take your test within that period, you would have to contact the technical personnel in charge of that to sort out whatever issue you had. This one was different. They said test start date 12 a.m. 8th of March, and then end date 11:59 p.m. 8th of March. So this one I could pick any time slot within 12 a.m. on that day and 11:59 p.m. to take the test. They sent the test link. This one did not have a practice test. It just told me basically have these materials close to you: my ID card, good internet connection, a computer with great webcam, and they didn't even specify how long this particular test was going to be, but I just approximated I should be about 1 to 2 hours, and that was it. So after this stage, so basically two stages. The first stage is the initial online assessment test where you have numerical, verbal, and reasoning assessment sort of. The second online assessment is the behavioral assessment, and there were a couple of questions and a couple of segments. Basically I had to write an essay. I had to answer lots and lots of behavioral related questions because it was a lot. I didn't count. Then this happened on the 7th of March. On right, yes. So I got this email on the 7th of March. On the 8th of March, earlier that day, they sent me an email to confirm my availability for the behavioral assessment. Well, they sent the email late to me because I had already taken the test before I got the availability confirmation mail. Then the next email I got. So after taking the test on the 8th of March, the next email I got was on the 11th of March. And I remember this one was very surprising because I went out to shop in the mall and then I got the email and I was screaming like, I got another email from Sahara. You think maybe after one or two stages this thing is going to end. Well, it kept going. So this is the third one. I'll read the third email. It says, Hi, good day. Please accept this as an invitation to the assessment center for the Sahara Group Graduate Management Training. The assessment center aims to provide you with an opportunity to demonstrate a range of competencies that are considered critical to the success of this program. These competencies are related to performance standards for the role that will be objectively assessed using a series of relevant assessment tools and exercises. Your active involvement is required throughout the various phases of this process. Consequently, you will be required to participate actively during the assessment process, which would include case study presentation, group presentation, and career interview. The assessment center will run for a day. Please find the details attached below. So they gave me a date. My date was Thursday, 23rd of March, and then they told me the venue. They basically told me to come with some things like an identity card, to dress formally, to bring 4 copies of my CV, to comply with COVID-19 preventive and control measures, and the assessment was going to last for the whole day basically. So here it says 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and they put the number for a contact person in case I needed to reach out to anyone. So this one was really exciting. It's the part where you get and you feel like, okay, this is getting real because you have to travel down. And this email was sent on the 11th of March for me to prepare ahead to attend a physical interview on the 24th of March. I don't stay in Lagos, so I had to prepare and travel down. My preparation, well, I'm grateful for the kind of people I have in my life, basically. So I actually did a presentation during my preparation at home, made presentation slides, and then I actually did present at home, and then I got feedback, and then I presented again and again and again. And then for interview questions, we had practice for interview questions. So my family members asked me questions, I answered the questions. Then they gave me feedback on areas they felt I could improve or how I could answer those questions better. Then for case study, they asked me what I thought was going to come out in the case study because we didn't necessarily know. And from taking a couple of, I would say, business related internship courses online, I understand that when there are case studies, there's often a business side to it. Maybe they would give you numbers or something related to business anyway. And I didn't study business. I studied industrial physics, applied geophysics. So it definitely meant one thing for me. It meant I had to be open minded for whatever case study was going to come my way because it wasn't necessarily going to be hard. I mean, I'm speaking from my perspective. It wasn't necessarily going to be hard, but if you hate business and you are giving a case study of business, it means your brain is going to just shut completely because you're not even open minded about the topic, right? So that was just one thing that, regardless of what I saw, whether it was going to be about law, whether it was going to be about fashion or an area that I was familiar with or not familiar with, I just had to be open minded, put my head on my neck, basically mean to be calm and go through the case study. So I prepared and I I prepared and I traveled. Before I traveled, there was an advice given and I took it because my interview was slated for Thursday. So I kept asking myself the question, what's going to happen Friday, Saturday? And I don't know why, but I felt that for some reason I may have to stay back. So the advice that was given to me by my family was basically, if you're going for this kind of thing, it's good you go with two official dresses. So I went with two official dresses. I wore a casual dress to travel. I had my nightwear, and then I had a second casual dress that I planned to wear back. So the plan was travel on Wednesday, have the interview on Thursday, come back on Friday. Well, that was not what happened. So on Thursday morning, I woke up, prepared, went to the interview center. Something happened. I got there late. I think I got there 8:04 when I should have been there before 8, and I was one of the last people to get there. Wasn't happy about that anyway. So prepare early and go early. Then when we got in, we were told to drop our bags, dropped my bags, and then I was given a non-disclosure agreement to sign. So I signed the NDA, and because I signed an NDA, I can't tell you what happened on that particular day, but it was pretty much just what was written in the email. Case study, presentation, group presentation, interview, and then I went back basically. So before all of that ended, we had casual conversations that were not necessarily about the entire the entire recruitment exercise in terms of what we came to do for that day. And the advice that was given to us is we should not be in a hurry to leave Lagos, that before the end of the week, over the weekend, we're going to receive an email. And I've gotten three sudden emails from one company in the recruitment process, so I can't even be so surprised by expecting more emails to come. So I left, went to my hotel to rest, and basically just told my family that, well, thank God we budgeted for this, but things have changed and we may not necessarily leave on the supposed day that we think we should leave. On Friday, which was the 25th, I got an email. Yes, I got an email on the 25th of March, and it was basically, hi, good afternoon. Congratulations on your selection to the next stage. To the next stage of the recruitment stage, I would like to engage you to give your best as you have always been doing. And then they told us about the final stage. So you were just saying congratulations, you made it to the next stage. Well, after this stage, there's another stage. So the next paragraph is basically saying, please note that the final stage of the recruitment process is the board interview at the group office Ikoyi, Lagos. The board interview will allow you to meet some of the business leaders. Note that it's only the recommended candidates that will move to the board stage. Then they told us the day, time, and venue for the board interview. That was on the 25th, which was basically Friday. So on on Thursday, we were told we were going to have a shoot, and they gave us a different location. So the office location where we had the case study exercise interview and all of that was different from where we had the photo shoot. So that was on Saturday. I prepared, went to the place, met other candidates. And the funny thing is, the interview and the whole case study thing, it actually ran for about a week. So on Monday, they had people coming. On Tuesday, they had people coming. On Wednesday, they had people coming. On Thursday, they had me and other people coming. On Friday, they had people coming. And then on Saturday, I just met some other people from the other days. And then we had like a picture video shoots. The whole media thing that's on the social media page and part of the YouTube page was done during that period. Then on the 24th, yes, on the 24th, I still got a mail. So this one is saying, "Hi, good evening. Congratulations. You have been selected for the next stage of the 2023 Sahara Graduate Management Training Program. This stage is the Bootcamp. The Bootcamp comprises physical engagement activities designed to test the following: tenacity, grit, teamwork, problem solving, and adaptability. Please see the details." So on a Monday morning, we were going to go for a bootcamp, and the exercises we have been having, that is the case study, the photo shoot, they were on the island, and this particular bootcamp exercise was going to be in a different location. So they told us to come somewhere on the island, and we were going to travel by boat to one of their subsidiaries where we had the bootcamp exercise. Then they told us how to dress when coming and what to come with. So they gave us a casual dress code and told us to come with workout activities. They put the name of a contact person. Then they told us to confirm availability. If we were medically fit for the exercise, you had to reply the email before a particular time. And if you came late for this activity, you'll be disqualified. So I mean, a lot of things go through your head when you see this particular email. So this is basically the fourth stage. The first stage is the online assessment. The second stage is online assessment with the whole behavioral test. Then the third stage is coming for the interview. The photo shoot is not necessarily a stage. So the third stage is coming for the case study interview. The fourth stage is the boot camp. And well, when I saw workout activities, I was definitely expecting a couple of things. Like I was expecting tug of war. I was expecting that we're going to jog. I was expecting we're going to probably do squats or planks, something of that sort. And I was also expecting that we're going to be divided into groups. To an extent, I wasn't wrong about those because it was part of what happened. What I'll just say generally is the GMT program for Sahara changes. So what happened in 2023 may not necessarily be what you would see in 2024. I mean, it could be similar, but certain segments of the program could change, right? So prepared, we got to the place where we were supposed to wait. This email was on the this email was gotten on the 24th of March to happen on Monday, 27th of March. Yes. So my trip to just have case study interview has lasted this long. So on Monday, got to the island location, waited. After a while, a trainer came. We casted lots to pick our teams. We were divided into teams, and we were told we'll do a lot of team activities. We'll be graded based on team participation, and then we went to the venue. It was my first time traveling on water, and it was cool. Nobody fell in the water, nobody fainted, nobody vomited, the boat did not capsize. So it was a really peaceful and wonderful experience. And we had security with us. We had life jackets, yes, because not everybody can swim. Yeah, so we got to the subsidiary, which was Egbin Power Plant. We had to get visitors tags. We went in. They showed us part of the plants. We came down at the main gate, passed through the pedestrian gate, entered back into the bus, got to a location where those of us that came in our casual had to change. We were already behind time schedule, so we changed to a sporting our sporting clothes or activity clothes, and then we went to have activities. So we had a couple of activities, a less than 1 minute water break, a couple of activities again. Then we went in and then we had more activities inside. It's like a club, like it's, how do I say that? Like an office sports club where you can have like outdoor and indoor games. Yeah, so we went in and then we continued with the activities. We were graded based on a lot of things. I don't know how we were graded honestly because we didn't necessarily see the general score sheet. And apart from working in teams, activities were paid. Sorry, attention was paid to individuals, right? So after that, we went for lunch, and then after lunch we asked questions. So from the little interaction we had after lunch, I understood that 11,000 people applied for the entire program. So from the initial application, gone, 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 11,000 people applied. And one thing I know is that not everybody that applied from the initial application made it to the first online assessment. I know it's very shocking, but the reason I know that is because when I saw the application, I've been following Sahara for some years because of what their foundation does and in relation to enactors and so many other activities I had done. So when I saw the application for Sahara, I like sharing opportunities. I share opportunities a lot on my WhatsApp, and I shared the opportunity. So someone that finished NYSC from my CDS, she finished NYSC when I was starting NYSC. She saw the opportunity. She applied. It was simple, just submit, blah blah blah, and then she told me she wishes she would get in, and then I wished her well definitely, and then I sent the application to somebody else to apply, and he also applied. So after two of them applied, and they're like, "Oh, they wish they're getting." I'm like, "Yeah, I wish you well." I went back to look at the application criteria, and I was like, "I'm not unqualified, so let me try." Right. So that was how I applied after sending it to people. And when I got the email for the first online assessment, I was just like, yeah, everybody should probably get the email for the first online assessment. But something told me to ask. So the first person, the first lady that applied, I reached out to her and I was like, um, did you get this email from Sahara? She was like, she didn't get any email. I was like, did you check your spam? And she's like, I check my email every day. And then that was a very humbling moment for me. So it made me know that from the initial application, not everybody, from the initial 11,000, not everybody even did the online assessment. And not everybody that did the online assessment even made it to the second stage. So the reason I mean, that's like, shall I say, logical for anybody to know. But another moment of realization for me was when I got the email to come for the interview. I was talking to someone, and the person was like, the person is looking for a job. I was like, oh, did you apply for this Sahara thing? He was like, yeah, he applied. He wrote the assessment, and they've never gotten back to him since then. I was just like, okay. So, yeah, they kept dropping people per stage. So we had the application was basically 11,000 people that submitted initially, and I'm sure the next application would probably be more, most likely. So 11,000 people submitted application. I don't know how many did first assessment and second assessment, but over 200 made it to the physical interview stage. So you want to gamble, you can gamble 200 people divided by Monday to Friday. Well, it's not exactly going to add up because on my day we were about 16, right? So some days were more, some days were less, but over 200 people made it to the interview stage. The boot camp also lasted for a week because I had to travel in. I was lucky I got to do my boot camp activity on Monday. So on Monday, boot camp activity, Tuesday, boot camp activity, Wednesday, Thursday. So boot camp activity lasted from Monday to Thursday, and out of the 200, only 60 made it to the boot camp activity. Yeah, it gets scarier as you get closer to the whole thing. Then after the bootcamp activity, I traveled back and I tried to rest, but I was a little bit anxious because at that point you know that okay, an email is going to come and you don't know when it's going to come and you don't know if you're going to get a good email or you're going to get a bad email. And you don't know what it's going to look like. So after I traveled back after my activity on the 27th, on the 31st of March, I got another email. So the subject of this email says feedback, Sahara Group Graduate Management Trainee Program. Then the email starts, "Hi, good evening." It's not even encouraging. So when you see just like, hey, it's one of those rejection email, and then they want to tell you nice. So, "Hi, good evening. Thanks for your continuous interest in Sahara Group. Congratulations, you have been recommended to the final stage of the recruitment process, which is the board interview. The board interview will allow you to interact with some of the business leaders and the executive directors. This has been scheduled for." So they told us the date it was scheduled, and they told us they would send a separate email. Then they told us to send a headshot and an updated CV before the end of business on Monday, 31st of March. I remember I was sleeping, then I turned to change my sleeping position or posture when I saw this email. It came in by 11:32. Most of the emails came in either by 11 or quite early in the morning. That's just what I would say. So I just prayed a little and I went to sleep. Then I sent the details that they requested for, and I started preparing again for the board interview. However, from the 60 that made it to the bootcamp stage, 41 made it to the board interview. Out of the 41, they told us only about 25 would get selected. So it was a nerve wracking process generally. That's just what I would say from the beginning to the end. On the 4th of April, I got another email from Sahara, and this one says pre board interview preparation in brackets graduate management trainee. So it reads, "Dear all, this is to invite you for the board interview preparation session." And we basically had this session. So this session was basically to help us prepare, to tell us this is how you should dress, please dress decently, please come on time. Not everybody would go in because we're 41 people and they're supposed to start by 9, and it's one person in with board members, a couple of board members, about 15 or more people were in the boardroom generally. So just prepare, rehearse your answers, and make sure what is on your CV is something you can defend. So that was that. So I traveled down. I mean, before traveling down, I spent time preparing. I think way more preparation was, I definitely putting way more preparation into this stage than into the other stage. Had to answer the same questions over and over and over and over again. So on the 7th of April, I got another email. The interview was supposed to be on the 8th. So on the 7th, I got another email. It was basically subject invite body interview. "Hi, good morning. Congratulations on your success at the assessment stage for the Sahara Project Training Program. Please accept this as an invitation to the board stage interview. The board stage interview will run for a day. Please find the details, send us the details, guidelines. You should be there at least 30 minutes before your start time. It is a panel interview. You are required to come with a valid ID card. The dress code is formal and smart." Then they put the phone number of one of the human resource persons in case we needed to contact them. Then later that day, they sent another email. They said, "Hi, good afternoon. Trust you are keeping well, and I believe you are ready for your session tomorrow. Please note the key competencies you are expected to display during your short interview tomorrow. 1. Learning agility. 2. Presence and confidence. 3. Cultural fit. Feel free to carry along with a light game to keep you busy before your time if necessary." Then the normal benediction of emails, basically signatures. So that was on the 7th, and I went for the board interview. Board interview was to start by 9 a.m. I was expecting maybe a separate email with time slots to tell me, oh, I was going to go in by this time or that time, but that wasn't necessarily the case, or I didn't necessarily get that. So what I did was I slept early and I tried to prepare early. I got to the venue for the board interview by 8:04. By the time I was signing in, over 20 people were already in there, right? So it's quite a competition. I checked the time when the first person came, and the first person came by like 7:45 a.m. for something that was supposed to start by like 9 o'clock. So yeah, I came in, I sat down. I mean, rooms were occupied, so I was just going to different rooms, greeting people. Maybe someone I saw at my initial case study that made it to the board stage. I was like, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" Or people I knew from my school because I saw a couple of faces from my uni. I greeted them. People I met from the bootcamp exercise, I just went to greet them, like, "Oh, hey, you're here," and so on and so forth. And then I sat down and I got talking with people. So there was something I did for most of the stages. I try to network with people because it's very important, and regardless of who gets in or who doesn't get in, life is not basically about an initial recruitment, and you need to build your network. And just because someone was not selected doesn't necessarily mean they were not qualified, and doesn't necessarily mean you won't meet them somewhere else. And as I kept meeting people at different stages, I went to do my research on them. So I was not just researching on the company or the board members, I was also researching on possible competitors. When I say research, I was doing a detailed research because I wanted to know what they were bringing to the table. I was gambling. That's just the truth. How I compared to them, how I could prepare better, what what level of competence I felt I needed to show. Should I show 50% competence or 70 or 80 or 90, or should I go all out? That kind of thing. So from the preparatory call we had, where we were about 41, I was able to get the full names of over maybe like 28 people. And I dug. That's it. I basically just went to dig. And that was when I even found out that more people that I didn't even know from that attended my school were there. And it was really competitive. That's just one thing I would say. Almost everybody I did my research on was good at whatever they did. So these are just my observations. I noticed that there were large participants from the following courses, from basically finance and management related courses. So there were a lot of people that studied either economics or something related to finance or something related to accounting. There were a whole lot. There were a few engineering, but not as much as finance and the rest. There were a couple of first class students, a couple of 2-1 students. That's definitely something I took note of. Then there was a sizable representation of students from public schools, as well as those that studied abroad, as well as those that went to private schools. So, like I already said, it was competitive because you have me with my BSc, and then you have people with their MScs, and so on and so forth. And then almost everybody had a couple of um work experiences. So it wasn't just them graduating from school and just having one work experience. They had things they had done or things they had been doing, whether it was their personal business or places they had worked in, that someone just going through a normal career calendar would not have followed. So that was definitely something I noticed. Initially, I thought probably that the number or the percentage of people that studied finance related courses could probably be as a result of what the organization was looking for. But thinking back now, I think it's because of the way they think, right? Because the organization is or at the time was looking for a certain level of thinking and reasoning capacity, and it appears that those that studied finance related courses, because of the kind of course they studied, were trained to think in that way through their educational process or something. And then you have the other people, us, that didn't necessarily study finance or economics or accounting, and somehow we're still able to think that way too, that they are looking for. So that was that. After the interview, oh, okay, let me speak about the board interview. I didn't take any media on the day of the board interview, so I probably won't upload any media in between for the board interview. Like the first batch went in, people went in as they were coming out, were asking them, what did they ask you? How was it? And it was just different feedback from different people. For some people, it was more technical. For some people, it was more fun. So they called about six of us for the second or for the third set, about six of us, and then we went to a room, stayed there for close to 45 minutes. I left my phone downstairs, so I was just trying to ease the tension because I was feeling a little bit tensed. And after gisting with the other five people, I slept for a while, and I'm happy because I needed that sleep. So not long after I woke up, they told us they were going to take us to the reception by the boardroom. So we went upstairs, sat down, people were going in. For some people, it didn't take so long. For some people, they'll go in and we'll just see everybody in the boardroom laughing, and we are confused, like, what's happening inside there? And you're like, are they just going to be laughing with me when I go in? Or is it I just laughing with this person and they would throw technical questions at me? So I don't know. It was just different things to different people. So I decided not to think too much about that particular stage of the process. So when it was my turn, one of the human resource personnel came out, just encouraging me, you could do this, go in there, project your voice, greet, walk this way, sit down. So I went in, and as soon as I opened the door, I greeted loudly. I walked to the front, I sat down. Then there was another human resource personnel in front. She greeted me. She told me that this is this stage. In 20 seconds, I should introduce myself. So I introduced myself, my education qualification, what my work experiences had been around, and the sector I wanted to pursue a career in. That was basically what I said in three simple sentences. That was what I said. So when I walked in, there were a lot of people. Initially, I was trying to calculate female representation. I wanted to see how many females were in the boardroom, but I didn't count because a lot happened in there, so I couldn't count that. Then there was a big screen in front, and on the screen there was this horizontal bar chart, and the bar chart had it was showing a five scale. So on a five scale, it was showing my competencies based on the skills that Sahara used to rank me throughout the entire recruitment process. Well, I was pretty impressed with the way they ranked me on the chart. Then there was my cute headshot up, and then there were like three paragraphs of how I was described by the recruiters based on the stages I had gone through. I was impressed with what I saw. So not long after, they started asking me questions, probably because of what I said. My first question was define sustainability. I defined sustainability, sha. Then there was this joke about people from my school. They always finish with first class. That how did I finish with 2-1? And they asked me how many first class was in my department. So they know that in my school they don't used to dash people first class. That was that. Then there were different questions on um what's the meaning of social impact activities, because that's the heading on my CV. I defined that. Two of the co-founders were there anyway, so it was quite a board meeting. And the way it was for me was really spontaneous. So when one person is asking me a question and I'm answering, that person is asking me another question. So when I finish answering this question, I'm trying to answer this question, and then I'm trying to read what is on the board, and then I'm trying to, so many questions like that. What's the relationship between my course of study and the career and sustainability I want to pursue? How can an organization make money from sustainability? How can an organization make money from sustainability in relation to what Sahara does? At the point they asked me for my nickname, and I said Sniper. I wasn't expecting that question, honestly. But I'm happy they didn't ask me a relationship question, because some people they ask them if they are single, if they are married, some people they tell them to sing, some people they tell them to dance. Well, a couple of the questions were just basically in relation to what you put on your resume. There's no hobby on my resume, so thank God. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it favored me in this case, so that's a good thing. For some people, they had hobbies on their resume, and then they were asked questions based on their hobbies or based on other things. Right now, I can't remember all the questions that were asked to me, but it was really spontaneous. And then at a particular point, the HR personnel in moderating the session at the boardroom asked me if I had a question for the board members. I asked the question, then I asked a follow up question after that. And she asked me if I had another question. I said no. She asked me if I was sure if I had another question. I said no. And then I said thank you, and I came out. So I don't know, but I think overall I had over 7 to 10 questions thrown at me. I can't remember all the questions now, but that was it. And I wasn't feeling fine. So that particular day after everything ended, people just like, how was your own session? You know, other people before me came out and they were telling them they danced this, they danced, they song, so many other things happened. And I just came out and I'm like, they were asking me technical questions, and the person after me too, she was asked technical questions. So I was really tired, and I booked a ride back to go and rest. They gave me meal. They gave us like snacks for breakfast. They had lunch packed in a bag. It was rice, chicken, and plantain. So I took that, went to eat and rest, and I was preparing to have my return trip back. Well, the following day, that's the day I was supposed to travel back, which was basically 9th of April. I woke up by about 5 a.m. and I was not feeling too strong to travel. But then while I was trying to contact my family to tell them, oh, I don't think I'll travel on this day, I'll travel on that day, blah blah blah. I got an email from Sahara, and the email came in by 2:50 a.m. And sometimes you begin to wonder that if these people work like this, how hard does the devil work? Well, the subject says board interview feedback, Sahara Graduate Management Trainee program. And then I'm like, but this is not supposed to come in until like Tuesday, you know. It is currently Sunday, which is church, Easter Sunday. Then Monday is public holiday, they will rest. Then by Tuesday, they will not send you email. Well, it came in Sunday morning by 2:50 a.m. And then it reads, Dear, my name, congratulations, you have been recommended by the board to join the Sahara Group Graduate Management Training Program. You deserve this opportunity and we are so happy for you. We look forward to welcoming you to the Sahara family. The employee relations team will be in touch with you as regards the next step. Congratulations once again and good luck. So, well, called my family, told them the main reason why I called them, forwarded the email to them, and I didn't sleep anytime soon. I think I slept after service, but yeah, I slept after service, but at that point, I just read the email. I was like, oh, thank God. And whew. So that's the end of my recruitment journey with Sahara through their graduate management training program. It was a ride. That's definitely one thing I'll tell you. A lot of people were not the most prepared, especially with the fact that they had to stay back. People booked flights, people had to move their flights. A lot of things happened. So if you are probably not just applying for Sahara, or you're applying for maybe a multinational and you're not sure of what the process is going to be like, you may want to make one or two plans as contingencies in case of when necessary. And one thing I would say is carry God on your journey. Prayer is very important. And one thing I experienced during my Sahara exercise from the interview stage, that's the group case study and all that made me travel down every day before those exercises. It was funny. I had a dream, and then in the dream, part of the activities that happened in the dream. So I sort of knew what to expect past stage. The only stage, I mean, online assessment, I did not dream, or I did not see question. The only stage where I did not have a dream was for the board interview. But my family members saw the dream for me the night before. So they told me what was going to happen. They even told me somebody I interacted with before the game. So I think that was definitely reassuring, because I wasn't going into the program completely blind. To an extent, I knew what was coming. So thank you for watching my video. Bye.